What's up, party people? It's geared up. We're live. We're back. We were here last week because I was at Build, hanging out with all of you who came by and said hello to me, so thank you so much. This week is going to be a little bit weird because I'm coming back from getting real sick in New York. And I can't really hear out of this ear, so Caitlin's probably going to say some stuff to me. I'm just realizing as I'm talking that I can't hear anything.
Listen, you're fine.
We'll get there. We'll get through it.
You're doing great. You're doing great. Today
we're going to be diving into all things Clic. That means from the lights and the light shaping tools, making sure that you know what does what's compatible with what, how things work. And then right at the end, we're going to have a little fun with some random requests that we've got from you about kind of hacking together lights to make them do certain things. We're gonna see what happens, but we're gonna save that for the end. So if you wanna see that, hang with us. Let's dive into it. So all the Clic stuff is made for what's called our A series of lights. And currently in our lineup, we have 2 A series of lights. Overall, over time, we've had 4. 3 of those would be the A1, A1X, and A10. A10 is where we're currently at. That would be this right here, our on-camera offering, or sorry, on-camera, off-camera offering. So the A10, kind of what a lot of people would call a speed light, is again your on-camera, off-camera option. It has a built-in air remote, which is really, really nice. Gives you full control from the top of your camera, all of your stuff all around. The current firmware builds for the A10, which is really nice. One are going to give you global shutter with the A9 III, I believe it is. I can never remember the exact versions of what we're talking about, but you also have the ability to do absolute power controls on all your lights, so you can see the power of your lights that have AirX. So essentially the Bluetooth lights around your event, if that's what you're shooting, or if you're just kind of using this as your main light, you have all that control right here. So again, on camera, off camera, battery powered. All of our lights in the A series use this battery. So if you have some A2s or some A10s or something like that, you're not having to buy a whole bunch of different batteries to figure out what goes to what. So there is that. The front of all of the A series stuff uses this 70mm magnetic ring mount, our Clic light shapers, and we're going to dive into those here in just a second. But it is not the same size as our traditional 100mm mount. So you're talking about 70mm, all magnetic. So when I say magnetic, it just clicks on like that, and that's how they work. There's a lot of them are stackable. We'll get into what is and isn't stackable here in a minute, but most of them are stackable. So you have a lot of light shaping options that are really, really quick and easy to use, which is nice. So again, A10 on camera, off camera, really lovely light. Comes with, just so you know what it comes with in the package. So you get a nice case underneath this top flap. I think some people may miss this. It comes with a dome diffuser. So you can throw that over the top of the light and it will smooth the light out really nicely. It's really, really lovely. You just slide that back in there if you want. It also comes with a table stand adapter on the back of it, a nice little case. Again, charger, battery, all that good stuff inside your A10. Put that back in there. We're not going to dive into the specifics of the A10 and the A2 because this is more of a light shaper general overview and having fun with the light shaping tools, but I want to make sure that we include the lights that we cover with this. The next is the monolight, the A2, this small little soda can size light. It's 100 watt seconds. It's got a lot of juice. I keep this in my bag all the time. This is, I mean, you can, it doesn't look too beat up, but I feel like I beat it up pretty good. And it's actually in really, really good shape. I've had this thing for a long time. I really, really love it. Again, 100 watt seconds, really easy to keep in your bag. It has the difference between here. Let's talk about this because this did come up a lot at the trade show that we were just at. And I want to make sure that we talk about it. So the front ends of the A10 and the A2 are very different. So the A10 uses a Fresnel to gather the light and throw it out in a certain pattern. And that pattern is dependent on what the zoom motor is doing inside the head. So if you're running on camera and you have this in automatic mode, what it'll do is it will zoom the flash out of this thing to try to give you the most coverage for your current focal length. Cool? So that's what this Fresnel here is for. Since the A2 is not really being used like that, it doesn't need a Fresnel. So we were able to put that nice piece of diffused cover over the actual flash tube to help smooth that light out a lot more. A lot of people ask me about using the dome attachment on the A2. And yes, you can. It will snap onto it. But you're double diffusing at that point. You're kind of not really doing that much other than losing a little bit of light. So I generally wouldn't dome the A2 unless that's the look you like. You feel like it gives you something that not using the dome doesn't. But really, the dome is really good for smoothing out the Fresnel of the A10. So that's why, it comes with it. So there's that. The other thing that I didn't mention that comes with the A10, now that I'm saying comes with it, there's a white bounce card that you get with it. I don't have it. You know what? I'm gonna back away slowly because I know I have one sitting right here in all of my stuffs. Yeah. So also inside the A10, you're gonna get your bounce card. Pretty easy to set up. You take it out of the little pouch, microfiber, so you can use this to clean something if you need. So it's just a little 2-piece system. You take the card, go taco mode, click it in, and there's your bounce card. So it does not go on the A2, in case you were wondering. So we're just gonna go ahead and nip that one in the bud right now. No bounce card on the A2. So again, the A2 has the frosted front piece on it, so no need for the dome, but a beautiful light altogether. Again, 70mm mount for all of your Clic accessories. So cool. We've gone through the lights. One other thing to talk about too with the A2 that we have to remember with the A10. The A2, because it's a monolight, has a stand adapter on it. That stand adapter also has an umbrella port. The A10 needs one of two things to stand adapt it. So you could use something like an umbrella mount or an umbrella stand adapter to get a cold shoe on top of a light stand. That would give you the umbrella. We also have the OCF 2 adapter, and I'll show you some more about that here in just a moment, that you could use also if you wanted to stand mount your A10. So something to keep in mind. But A2, lovely. Cool, so now let's start diving into the light shaping tools, what they do, and all the options that we have in the Clic lineup. So let's start, I'm trying to look at my table and see where we should go. Let's start with the barn doors. So barn doors are a really, really great light shaping tool. What they allow you to do is take the light and cut and shape it and flag off certain corners of it to get the light exactly on what it is that you're looking for and keeping it off the things that you don't want it on. So barn doors are a really lovely option for that. When it comes to putting your barn doors on your Clic light shaping tools, it is the last light shaping tool to go onto your light. So like if I were going to do the A2 barn doors and a Fresnel, you wouldn't go Fresnel last. So the barn doors have to be last. It's the way that they're held onto the unit. So if you were doing this, you'd go Fresnel, then barn doors. Oh, I have it off camera right here too. So let me try to come over here a little bit more. So for the close up, there we go. So if you're gonna do this, you wanna go barn doors last. And again, gives you the ability to cut, shape. Magnetic's gonna let you turn it. So if you want to, if you need to get the leaves to a different position and do all that cutting, you have that option there too. Again, barn doors last. Good thing to know. Cool, close these bad boys up. Since I have the Fresnel on there, let's talk about the Fresnel. So the Fresnel is a beautiful light shaping tool. Really, really good for environmental portraits, studio portraits. What it does, it's a convex lens that's kind of compressed down. That's what all these concentric rings are, it's taking a full convex lens and just squishing it. It's taking out the inner portions of it. What that does, gives you beautiful parallel light, a really intense light beam. It also is going to give you up to 1.8 more stops of light output. So you're talking about a 100 watt second flash head, almost becoming effectively 100 watt seconds, which is, or not 100, sorry, 400 watt seconds. So that's a really nice boost from something that doesn't really add much bulk to the light. It's really, really lovely. It's a beautiful little Fresnel. And again, if you wanted to use it with the barn doors and stuff, Fresnel first, then barn doors. Cool. But this one is forward and backward stackable. So if you decide you wanted Fresnel, I do believe if you went with gels with this, you would have to backstack the gels because of the protrusion of the Fresnel. We're gonna just double check that really fast. But front stack, nope, front stack's fine. So front stack holds on pretty good if you want the gel in last, but you could also backstack it. So gel on first, then the Fresnel. So all that good stuff. So front and back stackable, which is nice. Again, the barn doors are not, so that's something to keep in mind. Since I have the gels out, let's talk about the gels. So you can buy the gels in a couple of flavors. So this small little kit right here, I pulled this out just so I could kind of show you. So this small little bag right here is what you're generally going to get, like the Fresnel inside of the barn doors. But if you buy just the small CTO kit, which is what this is, this has the 3 half, full, and quarter CTOs inside of it. So if you just get the CTO kit, it'll come in this little pouch. If you get the full color correction kit, which is this right here, it comes with 5 gels. So you're going to get the half, full, and quarter. I really need to start saying quarter first. But you're gonna get those 3, but you're also gonna get a half plus green and I forget what the CTO is. I can't remember if it's a full or half CTO. It is a quarter CTB. Wow, I was way off and I was saying the wrong letters. So that's neither here nor there. But that's going to get you a nice full color correction kit in a little bit nicer, not really a little bit nicer case, but just something that you can kind of keep them all together inside of. With that in mind, let's talk about the color effects kit. So same thing, the color effects kit comes in a smaller kit with a pink, peacock blue, and a yellow. Really, really lovely. Same smaller bag. If you want the full color correction kit, this comes with a lot more options. We have that as available as well. That comes with more things like your scarlet reds, jade greens, some lavenders and stuff like that. But again, really, really lovely. All the gels, again, are front and back stackable. There's going to be one exception, and we're going to talk about that here in just a second. But the gels that are already set, so these are the colors that you get, they are front and back stackable, so you can set them up however you'd like to. We have a grid kit, which I think grids are wildly underutilized. This comes in a 20 and a 10. Which is very, very cool. Again, you can stack them if you'd like to. I've found that if you stack, I don't know the beam pattern, but if you stack the grids together, you can actually get a little bit tighter of a grid spot, which is nice. The only caveat is, I don't know how hard this is to see. Oh, you know what?
You can see it okay.
So the only caveat is you have to line the honeycombs up. So like right there, like I'm looking through, hold on a second, I'm trying to get so you can see what I'm talking about. So like I'm looking through the honeycombs right now. If it's turned like a quarter, wow, if I throw it first. If it's turned a quarter of a turn and the honeycombs aren't lined up, it doesn't give you that tighter light pattern. So here, let's see if I can get this to line up incorrectly. So I don't know if you can see this. It still kind of looks normal, but you see it's a little choppy. Let's try to come over here to this one and see if you can see it. Let's try to get it in there. So see how it kind of looks like flowers in there? So what you actually want it to be is the honeycombs lined up like that. So see how it looks clear now? So you want your honeycombs to be lined up and you can actually get it to be a little bit tighter. I don't know the pattern, but to me visually, when I photograph with it, it looks like a tighter beam pattern. So, and if it's giving you the effect that you want, who cares? Who cares? Cool. So 10 and 20 degree grids, really, really awesome. I always suggest getting some grids.
Locke wants to know, why don't you guys have a CTB for Clic, a full CTB for Clic?
You know, I don't know why we have full CTB for Clic, but I'll show you what we have as an option here in just a second, as what you can do about that. But yeah, I'm not really 100% sure. I think we just were asking what were the most popular ones, and that's what we made. So the next is a Snoot. Really, really lovely light shipping tool. Again, something I don't think people use a lot. It's really nice at taking your light, focus it down really small, and giving you a nice little spot of light. Good for product stuff. Really nice hair light. I think Snoots are really, really fun. Again, back stackable. Obviously, you can't stack anything to the front of this because you have the actual whole Snoot situation with it, but you can use grids behind it, you can use gels behind it, and all that fun stuff. So OCF Snoot, rocking and rolling. Not OCF, Clic Snoot, doing its thing. Cool. Then we have the tried and true Magnum. So again, the nice thing about this is you're gonna get, you know, that 1.8 stops light output, which is really, really nice. So again, taking this from a 100 watt second almost to an almost 400 watt second light output, which is really nice. It comes with the grid built into it. So if you wanted a 20 degree grid, not built in, with it in the package. So if you wanted a 20 degree grid to go with the unit to tighten that light beam down a little bit more, you can. I believe this out of the box is 35-ish degrees as far as the actual light pattern. I'm in the ballpark. I probably didn't nail that down. It's a lot of numbers to remember, and I'm not good with them. So again, about a 35-degree beam angle, and then you can throw this on there and knock it down to a 20, which is really nice, and then you're getting almost 2 stops more light output. So beautiful light shaping tool. One of the questions that someone had asked us and that we're going to play around with today is if you put the Fresnel in here and then the Magnum, will it do anything? And my guess is it's not going to do anything other than be more of a Fresnel. Pardon me, be more of a Fresnel, just because once that beam pattern is changed and this light can't gather all the light the way that traditionally would, you're going to lose some of the effectiveness of the Clic Magnum. But we're going to try it. We're going to have fun.
Shia says that they have an issue with the barn doors leaking a little bit of light. If you have a trick to that, maybe we should.
Where are they leaking light from? Sorry, I'm going to grab a little sip of water.
Yeah, so if you could elaborate just a little bit.
Yeah, elaborate where it's leaking light from. And because I personally haven't ran into it, but maybe I haven't experimented enough with it. So please let me know. Cool. The next is this fun little diddly. And I know I don't talk about this thing enough, but this is awesome, especially with the new pop open softboxes, like the 3-foot. I haven't messed with it with a 4-foot, although I was talking to somebody about it here recently, and the 4 would probably be okay, but I've used it with the 3-foot really successfully, and it does a great job. This is the Clic OCF adapter. This is going to be how you're going to use some bigger modifiers with your A10 and your A2. It's got kind of the B10X and B20 mount here, the stand adapter going to the stand itself, and then the actual Clic adapter portion of it kind of just screws onto the bottom. I'm not going to undo it all the way, but just so you see what I'm talking about there. So that bolts in there, and then it gives you the option. So this is where I was talking about with the A10, wanting to stand mount it for using with other light shaping tools or umbrellas or something like that. It's a good little accessory to have for it. So the nice thing is it'll just sit right inside there. Oh, hold on a second. It'll sit right inside there, and you can turn the body and have it just cradle right there on top of the unit. So even if something were to hit it and make some downforce, it has a little bit of extra reinforcement there to keep anything from happening to your flash head. You could even turn it to the side if you wanted to see the power here, but with AirX and stuff now, you don't necessarily need to see that because you can see it on top of your remote. But this is a great way of, one, using bigger light shaping tools, stand mounting your A10, or using an umbrella if you wanted, if that's the light shaping tool you're going with and you have an A10. So OCF adapter, really, really awesome. Really, really awesome little accessory to have for your stuff. The other cool thing about it is you still don't lose your Clic ring here at the front of it. So if you did throw the light in there and you still want to use some Clic accessories, you can still throw Clic stuff here on the front. So it's still, the light will magnetize to the back, and then you can add gels, again, grids, whatever it is you want here to the front, and it'll snap right on there, which is really, really cool. Any other questions as I'm sitting this thing down, Kate?
Chris Lambeth says, Chris.
My boy Lambeth, I like that new Tacoma, my dude. The thing looks sick. Honestly, I'm a little bit jealous. I mean, I have a Tacoma, so I can't be too jealous, but I mean, yours is all shiny and brand new. So, also, hope your honeymoon was awesome. The other gel option where we were talking about, someone was asking why not a full CTB. We do have this, which is our gel holder. So we can pop this bad boy open. I'll show you what all is inside of it. So it comes with a little template. So you can set this down on top of your gel or diffusion or polarizer gel or whatever it is that you're using. And you have a template to trace it and cut it, which is really nice. And then it just snaps into this unit here. And then you have your gel. The one thing to note, the front of the gel holder is not. What's up?
I know what shirt you wore at the thing. It says, "Where can I get your chunky hunky t-shirt?"
Oh yeah. I'll you know what?
Yes.
I wore a shirt that was a big hit, so I'll let you all know. It says kind of chunky, kind of hunky.
Yeah.
More of the first than the second, but so.
That was from Arturo.
Yeah. So the front of the gel holder is not stackable, so you can't put. Oh, did I?
Did you just learn something on camera?
I just learned something on camera. I always thought, because of the way that this thing was done, that it's not stackable, but there is actually, shut up. See, this is why the engineers are smarter than me sometimes. Okay, so the front is stackable. I'll shut up now, and I'm pushing against it. So the magnet's actually relatively strong. I'm gonna eat that crow. I think there are, no, it's all there. I'm very wrong. Okay, I learned something live.
Well,
this is
we're
what.
gonna have to explore that.
So, front and back stackable, gel holder for your full CTB. Wow, I always thought this thing wasn't front stackable.
Now you know.
I guess that's what I get for making assumptions.
Yeah.
So, anyway, since we're doing it live and embarrassing ourselves every single week, we might as well have it for this one.
You know?
We might as well have it for this one.
Keep things consistent.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Listen.
Yeah.
It's always there. Cool. So we've gone through the main light shaping tools that are, pretty lightweight, I wouldn't say pretty standard, because I think there's some things that people don't pay enough attention to, like grids and snoots, but really covering a lot of the bases there. Now let's talk about the soft stuff. Let's talk about how you're supposed to mount it up properly, because I want to make sure that all that information is there, and then we're going to goof around with some light shaping tool combos, and that's what we're going to do right now. So first, we have 4 different soft boxes for the Clic system. I'm going to hold these 2 bags up. I don't know if you can you tell which one I use more? Do you see one that's dirtier? Yeah, I love the 2.7. The 2.7 is my favorite softbox. It's a little big, so if you're trying to be compact, the 2.3 is kind of like the really nice middle zone. It really is, for softness versus portability, but I love this thing. So 2.7 Octa pops open pretty easily. It has your magnetic mount. So here, let's take the A2 off of here. So it has your magnetic mount, so it just snaps right in place. One of the things that I want to drive home with this video and what we're talking about, if you want to gel the softbox, don't put anything between the light and the softbox. That's the strongest connection for anything magnetic. We put on the inside of the softbox another magnetic ring. See, this one I knew. I didn't have to get surprised about stackability. So if you'd like to warm up your softbox, snap that gel on the inside and then open up the softbox. There we go. And then that's how you gel it. So we want to make sure that the light is the thing attached to the softbox, nothing in between. I've made the mistake and luckily caught my A2 with my hand, because that would be a weak point with a gel or something right there. So keep in mind, light to the softbox always. Perfect. I'm gonna take my gel out of here before I forget. But again, this is your 2.7. We have it in a 2.3 and a 2-foot. So if portability, maximum portability is your thing you're going for, the Clic Octa, which is the 2-footer, is going to be your best bet. If you're looking for your best softness to portability Octabox, 2.3 can't beat it. And if the size or if the portability matters less than the softness, the 2.7 is a dynamite softbox. Again, I love that one. That's the one I travel with all the time. You can tell by how dirty it is. I love the 2.7. And we also now have the strip box, which is we came out with this year. Beautiful little strip box. Really, really good for rim light. You could use it for a really portable, like if you want to do kind of like the Hurley style triangle, you could get 3 of these bad boys and do like a really easy setup for headshots. But again, really nice rim light, really good for small products and stuff like that. You can mount it one of 2 ways. So if you want it to be stand mounted, it's always going to be vertical. So it'll be a vertical style. Here, let me pull this over so you can see it. So it'll be a vertical style setup here. If you want to be able to turn the Octa, what you'll do is you'll go light to the stand and then you can rotate the Octa that way. So that's how you would, if you needed to be able to change the position or the angle. I keep saying Octa, but I mean strip. If you wanted to change the angle of your strip box, stand mount the light and then just turn the light on the front of your flash head. Cool. All of these come with the option for a grid. So if you wanted to take your light and narrow it up a little bit more, it comes in a nice little soft bag. Here's the 2.3 grid for the Octabox, which is really, really nice. So cool. Strip
box.
No, that one's for the Octa. That one's for the 2.3. But the strip box does have an option for a grid. Cool. Yeah, I know I messed that up like 9 times. I'm sure it didn't help any of that up. So again, the Clic light shaping tools are awesome. Most of them, including the gel holder, are front and back stackable. Who knew? Everyone but me.
Now you do.
Everyone but me. So, but again, a really nice offering for, if you need a harder light, something that amplifies the output. You have the narrow beam and the Clic Magnum. The Clic Magnum comes with a grid, so you have a couple of options as far as like making your light beam a little bit tighter down to 20 degrees, which is great. You have your gel option, so you can go color effects, so you could have fun color grading your image in camera. As far as like just doing creative things. And if you want to actually take your light and grade it for white balance, you have your color correction kits that you could put on your light to warm or cool or get rid of some of the magenta tones that come from fluorescent lights. That's what that half plus green does. Hey Caitlin.
Yes.
Right there. We have the Munchkin Patrol coming in because it's summertime. Cool. And then, so on top of that, we have things like the Snoot, we have the barn doors, we have our OCF adapter, which is going to allow us to put some larger light shipping tools onto our light stand, which is dynamite. Grids to control that light down, soft boxes to make the light nice and soft, from strip boxes to different size Octas for the amount of softness that you're looking for. So the Clic setup has really something for everybody. Now that we've gone through everything, let's look at the stuff that we had questions about. Could you mix this with that to make this work with that thing? So let's jump into that now. And I'm going to try to clean up a little bit of the space just to do that. So cool, here we go. I also brought out a light meter because one of the things that someone was asking is if by using certain light shaping tools, if we're able to make up some of the output of certain things. And so we're going to be diving into that as well. So cool. Let's just pack up this stuff a little bit. All right. Perfect. So the first thing that we're going to dive into is we're going to put the Clic Fresnel onto the Clic Magnum and see if we gain any light output by using it and if it changes the beam pattern at all. We have Kate here. She's going to stand in for us while we do it and just see if the effect changes anything, if it looks different and whatnot. Then we're going to be using the Fresnel to try to amplify the light output of a couple of other things.
Can you help me?
Oh, what happened?
I need the screen.
Oh, we got a screen share. I got you. Hang on a second. Hang on one second. There we go. Perfect.
And there we go.
There we go. We got. I don't think initially we were planning on doing much shooting today, but as I thought more and more about. As I thought more and more about what we were doing here with these funky light shipping tools, I think it made more sense that we needed to actually take some photos. So that's what we're going to do right now.
All right.
Cool. So let's get this set up. So the first shot, again, we're just going to use the A2. Keep it super simple. We're going to put the, oh yeah, I pushed all my modifiers over here. We're going to put, we're going to do this a couple different ways. We're going to have to take 3 photos, I believe. So we're gonna do it with, I think we're gonna do it in like a butterfly style. If we go straight on, let's do about 3/4 length on the shot. Cool, so we're gonna go A2 right next to the camera. Lock this bad boy down, power on.
And if you have any questions, feel free to
ask
call
away.
in.
Ask away. We're here.
James.
What's up, James? What's happening? What's happening, brother? I'm still on channel 15 from the trade show. Let's get that back to channel 1. We're firing. There we go. Oh, there's something else on that we do not want on. There we go. Yep, the D30. No, thank you, D30. All right, cool. And then so we need.
Do you want this thing aimed at me?
Yes, I do. Is it not aimed at you?
It's above my head.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right there. Perfect. So here is the A2 and Clic Fresnel. We're just gonna do this all in TTL mode for the most part. So here we go. Let's get this down to, sorry, I gotta change my camera settings. Let's 1 F8. And we don't want ISO 800. Let's get this adjusted down and we'll be back in business. Cool, here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Cool, so there is that. We have, and the Fresnel's nice. It's a really lovely light kit. So now let's see how that light pattern changes by going with the Clic Magnum. And just so we know, power-wise, we're at 8.2. So Kate, you wanna jump back in there?
I would love to.
So we have power level at 8.2. Cool. Let's see how the Clic Magnum changes that. Could you, yeah, right there. 3, 2, 1. So we got a little bit more light out of the Clic Magnum than we did the Fresnel on that one. So we dropped down to a 7.8. I can't tell from, I gotta look at the photos really fast to see if we, oh, I clicked the wrong thing. Give me 1 second. Let's go here. I just wanna see if we changed. She might have gotten a little bit closer, and that might be the difference in power. What we might need to do is just set her into place and not have it move. But I mean, she's not that much closer. So the light power differences, again, 7.8 and 8.2 with the Fresnel, and cool. Second, my kids keep opening the windows to chat and be silly gooses, so we're gonna have to end that. Yeah, so awesome. What I want to do one more time, because I think you might have moved. Let's take one more shot, and cool. So this time, just don't move, because I just want to confirm that we didn't have a huge power jump, because they're roughly the same output. Take a half step back.
I'll keep my body.
Yeah, just, yeah. So let's go Fresnel real fast. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. So 8.2 again, so that's where we were just a second ago. Now we go with the Magnum. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. 8.0. Okay, so some of that probably had to do with us moving. Let's see what happens with the light pattern when we mix both. So there's the Fresnel. There's the Magnum. Let's see what happens. 3, 2, 1. Still 8.0 on the light, so we gained nothing. So let's look really quickly at these 3 images and see what we got. So looking at the light, I don't actually know that we gained anything here. The only thing that I would say that the mixing the Magnum and the Fresnel together did was vignetted the image out a little bit more around the edges. I will say that the beam focus of the narrow beam is pretty similar on both the images on the left and the right, whereas the beam is a little smoother. Here, the only other thing too that I would say with the Magnum is you can see there's some double shadows here on the wall, whereas the Fresnel's a little bit smoother there. So, but we definitely have a little bit wider throw with that Magnum over the narrow beam. So something cool there. So that was something that we were asked at one point. So now let's get into the really weird stuff. After I quench my thirst. Perfect. The next thing that we were asked about was using the OCF adapter with the Fresnel small and the Spot small. So I'll say this, I am uncomfortable with the idea of putting this big light shaping tool on the front of the OCF adapter. It's even when you look at how we say mount this thing to a B10 or a B10X or now a B20 or a B30, we tell you to use the stand adapter kit for it, and that's what we're gonna do. So I would say no, do not mount this directly to the OCF adapter. Use the stand kit for it. But one of the things that happens, and we tested this before with the A2, is that the A2, a lot of the light of the A2 is eaten up inside this thing. It's really hard to get a good exposure on the output. So we're gonna try to put the Fresnel inside the Fresnel and see if that 2 stops of light output we almost get made up for inside the small Fresnel with the big Fresnel fixes that. What's going on?
Now it's time to get into the weird stuff. One sec, let me check to see if my wife has gone.
Now, all right, now we get weird. Yeah. Let's get weird. If my children poking their heads in through the window like dwarves wasn't weird enough.
Yeah, listen, summertime.
Yeah, summertime, baby.
That's what it is.
Summertime. Cool, so OCF adapter in, or Clic OCF adapter in. So now, let's go A2, we're gonna do, A2 no Fresnel first, so we get a baseline. Cool, and I don't know how well this is gonna work. I know that last time that we did the Fresnel with the, I just need to make sure the iris is all the way open also. Let's see, yeah, that would be a problem. Cool, so we're there. I'm just gonna still shoot it kind of a butterfly light style. I might go a little bit closer because I know this is going to eat up a lot of light. There we go. It'll be a little off the side, and then down a little bit at you, right?
Sure. Yes.
Right there. Cool.
Yes.
TTL mode. Let's see what we got going on. 3. You mind coming here? I'll move this over here so your nose is pointed to the light.
Oh, sorry. I'll just look in the camera.
No, it's fine. I see your hair part and the way that and the way that you want to set your situation up. I see your little part in your hair. If you don't know this, if you're new to portrait photography, most people part their hair on the side of their face that they like. So, just something to keep in mind. Little hack for you. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so that was a power level of 10. We got a good output, but we were at full power. And as far as the flash yelling at me, it was saying, hey, I think it's a little underexposed, but still not bad, right? Not bad. So let's see what happens when we put a Clic Fresnel on there. So let's Fresnel the Fresnel.
Fresneling the Fresnel.
We're giving the old double Fresnel treatment. Again, Fresnel to the outside of the OCF adapter, or the Clic OCF, and then in. So let's see if this makes up any power. This is a fun experiment. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Now what does the light look like? That's hilarious. Okay, so it works. I got back. I'm at power level of 9.5. I'm not even at full power. So that's funny. That's funny. I mean, it should have worked in theory, but it totally worked.
Wow.
That's funny. Okay, cool. Wow. So yes, you can Fresnel the Fresnel and make your light back up if you need to. So just so we're aware of how we're setting this up, I feel like I should come closer with the side camera just so you can see how this is set up so you understand it. Okay.
Hashtag Fresnel the Fresnel.
Yeah, hashtag all the Fresnels. So, where's that? Oh, it's over here. So, we have set up in this thing, Fresnel small. On the front of this little contraption here, we have the Clic Fresnel with the A2 into the OCF Clic adapter. And then that is placed into the Fresnel small, and it works like a charm. I had a sinking feeling that it would, but I wanted to be surprised in real time, so that's why I didn't try it before. But that's, well, I guess I should say that, because that's where the picture is. That's funny. I love it. Now, the other question they ask is if the same thing would work with the spot small. I have my spot small, so let's pull it out. Let's see if the spot small will do it. Now, the one thing that, again, I'm a hair worried about with the spot small, it does not have a stand mount like the Fresnel, but it's not quite as heavy. So let's see how it looks. I have a feeling the same thing's gonna work, but we're gonna do both experiments and see what happens. So, Clic Fresnel, hilarious. Hilarious into that. So let's get this off of here. I need my stand adapter. So let's get that set up. Again, we mounted the Fresnel to the outside. So that's, again, keep that in mind. Perfect. So let's go spot small. We're gonna take the Fresnel. Can you hold this for me for just a half a second? So before I even mount this thing up, let's see how we feel about this. Because this is very front heavy. There's not a lot of counterbalance to this. So I am a hair worried. So we're gonna see what happens whenever I release the weight off of it. I'm gonna put a sandbag on it just because I don't trust it. Yeah. No, it's fine. I just didn't lock it down very good. That's my bad.
Yeah, Creek, come on now.
I know.
Come on now.
I just didn't lock it very good. That was my bad. That was my bad.
Sandbag?
Yeah, I'm gonna grab a sandbag. I didn't realize it was as front forward as it was gonna be, but it is. So let's sandbag this bad boy. All right.
No, we're good. Okay.
Now let's get weird again. 2.0. So we're gonna go A2, no modifier, or no Fresnel on the inside, and we'll see what happens. You ready? Cool.
I think.
Yeah, until this thing topples over. Is that looking at you?
No.
Cool. And I'll just readjust my camera. Perfecto. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Okay, oh, you know what? Let me just double check. The actual leaves are closed. There's no light coming through whatsoever. That'll fix a lot of stuff. That'll fix a lot of stuff. One more time. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so full power. It's doing everything that it can, and that's the light that's getting out of it. So now let's see what happens when we put a Fresnel on the front of it.
Okay.
The Fresnel might wind up being like the most useful Clic light shaping tool, especially if you're using other light shaping tools. This is slowly becoming my new favorite thing that we're doing. This is cracking me up. All right, now let's see what happens when we do this. Here we go, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we got more light out. Usable light. It's still yelling at me saying, hey, underexposed. I'm trying to figure out, jump back in there really fast for me. I'm trying to figure out how to aim this properly. That is looking right at you.
There, that is.
I'm trying to decide if the Fresnel is causing a weird cutoff of the unit. It shouldn't be, because it should be hitting a diffuser plate.
I mean, you know what? Let me put myself right here.
Cool. Should I go down with it a little bit, I think? I'm gonna go down with it just a click.
Don't mind me.
How's that right there, by the way?
I feel like it's shooting here on my neck.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I just want to see kind of where that ring is. 3, 2, 1. Okay. I think the issue is I still have one of the blades pushed in a little bit.
Yeah, definitely is a blade.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there it was right there. It was that blade right there. Cool. Cool. One more time for the kids. 3, 2, 1. It's still a little tight as far as the actual circle goes, and that could just be due to the fact that the light is relatively close to Kate, so the spot itself is tiny. My guess is that's what it is, because the leaves aren't really cutting, but in order to get the output that's needed to do the thing, to get a decent exposure, we have to be kind of close. So I would say, does the Clic Fresnel work with the A2 inside of the spot small? Yes. The almost 2 stops light output that it gives us a much more usable exposure. Whereas if we were here, let's just so you can see the before. So when we did the exposure without the, oh, come on. Oh, come on. I'm just like clicking stuff now. So let's go here. There we go. So does using the Fresnel give you more exposure through the Fresnel small? The answer is yes. Is it as successful as the Fresnel small? No. Unless you're okay with the super tight look like that, the spot small, again, I think is a little less successful than using the Clic Fresnel. So, or than using the Fresnel small, both of the Clic Fresnel. But the Clic Fresnel is a fun hack for getting some more juice out of this bad boy. So that was fun. That was interesting. So 2 of the 3 experiments were a yes. The first experiment was a no. Really, really fun to goof around with those though. So let's go here and get out of this place. So I think we did a really good job diving into, I don't know if you want to get rid of the screen share portion of it. I think we did a really good job of diving into all the Clic stuff, kind of going through some fun little things that people wanted to find out if they were worth doing. I think some of the fun stuff combined with the Clic Fresnel is very, very cool. Again, the most successful was the Fresnel small with the Clic Fresnel, less successful with the Clic Fresnel and the spot small, and the Clic Fresnel with the Clic Magnum. I would say don't do that. You negate the purposes of both the lights, and you're not gaining any power. We had the exact same amount of juice. The only thing that happened is there was a little more vignetting. So we've gone through the whole Clic system. If you have any questions, feel free to hit us up. You can DM me. I'm sure Kate's probably thrown up my handle at some point. If not, she's going to throw it up right now. So many times. Here it is again. That's me, at the Chris Fain. So if you have any questions, DM me. I love chatting with the stuff. If I run into you in person, thank you so much for coming in and saying hi to me. I really, really appreciate it.
We'll put a link to the chunky hunky.
Yeah, well, and DM me if you want to know where I got my kind of chunky, kind of hunky shirt. In the meantime, I hope you have an awesome rest of your week. Peace out, everybody. See you later.